Ladies and gentlemen, I am extraordinarily proud to present to you tonight Justin Osman. Take it away.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Thank you guys so much. It's so good to be here tonight. Thank you, Kristen, for the warm welcome. Appreciate that. I usually start off with a joke. Would you guys rather have me down here or up here? Should I come up here? That better? All right, there we go. I usually start off with a joke, but I didn't think it was appropriate. So I asked Kirsten for a joke, and now I have two jokes that are not appropriate. Just kidding. How was the food tonight? Isn't the food amazing? It's so good. I was just talking to somebody here tonight, and they said there's this new restaurant that they just put on the moon. Did you hear about this? The food is great, but there's no atmosphere. You know that? But speaking of atmosphere, I think this is a beautiful atmosphere here tonight. I am so honored to be here with so many of you guys here tonight. And I'm a Seattle Seahawks big-time fan, and so this is so good to be here. I'm from Utah, all the way from Utah. That's kind of where we're from. But I'm just so grateful to be here and to be able to share some thoughts and some stories and some experiences. But there is a rumor out there about the Osmond family that we're either a little bit country or we're a little bit rock and roll. And I'm here to set the facts straight. We're a little bit country, right? So I'm all about hope, and as Kirsten just so beautifully described, I love the HOPE program. It's people like you that make people like me like people like you. You're the one that gave us hope. And tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and not just hope, but that perfect brightness of hope. You guys are like the bridge builders so that people like myself can walk across, so that we can have a brighter future. And you have no idea how much we appreciate that. So I want to start off with a question. Imagine life without sound for just a second, okay? Imagine life without the comforting voices of your family and friends, your loved one. This is my sweetheart and my little dog. And just about 4 weeks ago, 1 month ago today, we adopted 2 little girls. And so, thank you. I'm on vacation right now. My wife is home with the girls, and sleepless nights, many nights. So kind of nice to be able to get away. But being able, don't tell my wife I just said that. But hearing their beautiful voices, and I'll be honest, sometimes it's nice to turn my hearing aids off, and it's nice and quiet. Even when my wife yells at me, I can turn them off. But imagine life without music, right? Hearing the music that we just listened to earlier on tonight. Imagine life without sound. Imagine life without sound. For many of you, it might take some imagination, but for me, I've lived it. I know what it's like to live in a world void of sound. Wendy here tonight, I know Wendy's around here. Wendy's right there. You know what that's like, and I'm sure some of you others out there know what that's like. And and I wanted to share just a little bit about that. This is me when I was just a little boy. You know, I struggled growing up, and back in the olden days of technology, it was hard. You know, I had the big old white cords according to today's advanced technology. In fact, for me, it was kind of like an inconvenience. I felt like this, you know. I lived in the analog time, and it was hard. It was difficult. But thanks to advanced technology today, right, we can hear so much better. The wonderful cochlear implants that they have now, 40 years ago, they didn't have that. And so I did. I felt like this. But now, I love it. I can hear so much better. I can communicate better. I can understand better. I can connect better. In fact, I can hear so well, I can hear what you're thinking. Yeah, and you're thinking, I'm crazy, right? Is that what you're thinking? Yeah, see, they work. They work great. But I love them now, and it's wonderful. And I have a personal motto now. I may have a hearing loss, but that hearing loss did not have me. It's not to say that I don't like it. I love it with all of my heart. It's just that I define my hearing loss instead of the other way around. And it's so cool that we're not alone. There's so many people out there in the world that also have this challenge that they're dealing with. My family, the Osmond family, if you've never heard of them, that's okay. But you might have heard of Donnie and Marie. But this guy up here on the top left, that's my dad. He looks like Kenny Rogers a little bit. The thing is, they all have white hair, but my dad's the only one that did not dye his hair. But hearing loss runs in my family too. In fact, two of my uncles, Verl and Tom, they were both born with a severe to profound hearing loss, and they were never part of the musical group, the Osmond. And so it runs in my family. Donnie and Marie, what do you think? With the hat or no hat? I don't know. Anyway, Donnie and Marie, they don't wear hearing aids yet, but they will, with all the loud music going on. But they are huge advocates for supporting the deaf and the hard of hearing. They would be here tonight if they can. In fact, I'll see if I can get them here next year. What do you think, huh? Yeah. There's so many other people out there in the world that also wear hearing aids. Buzz Aldrin, the first guy on the moon, Kevin Costner, Billy Crystal, so many, Chuck Norris, Warren Buffett, right? We need to get him here. He can help support this foundation. But Lou Ferrigno, I don't know if you know this guy. I love this photo because look at this. Look at the weights, right? I am lifting more weights than the Incredible Hulk, baby. Oh, yeah. And you know what? He's also a beacon of hope. He also wears hearing aids, and nothing lets him get down. And we have a lot in common that way. But a great guy. I could even talk to him about trying to get him to come here as well, because this is a wonderful program. Derek Coleman from the Seattle Seahawks. I'm sure you guys all know him. He wears hearing aids. Great advocate for this program. Molly Matlin. And I don't know if you watch Dancing with the Stars. Niall DeMarco, the winner of Dancing with the Stars. He was a beacon of hope. And they all do one thing in common. They all have a purpose, right? And I share this tonight as, what is our purpose? Why are we here, right? Sometimes we just need to be reminded. Of course, we're all here for a great cause. We're here to raise some good money, also raise awareness. But I came across this really cool quote by Pablo Picasso. He says this: the meaning of life is to find your gift, but the purpose of life is to give it away. And you know what? That's exactly what you're doing. That's exactly what Hope is. You guys are providing a gift. In fact, last night I got to meet with some of the parents of some of the kids that you guys are benefiting. And I got to see the gift in their eyes that you guys provided for them and for me. And so it's beautiful. Sometimes we just need to realize and remember that. And it's a beautiful thing. And because of that, you are my hero. I met some of the kids last night. You're their hero. And sometimes you don't get enough credit. All the speech pathologists, the audiologists, the ENTs, the teachers of the deaf, education, thank you for helping us be all we can be so that we can reach our full potential. And this is my hero. This is my mom. And I wish she was here tonight. If she would have heard of Hope when I was diagnosed at 2 years old, we probably would have moved to Washington and lived here. It's just a wonderful program. But my mom, there's a quote I always say about my mom. It says, "You may have tangible wealth untold, caskets of jewels and coffins of gold, but richer than I, you can never be. I had a mother who read to me." And speaking of reading, my mom would read to me every single night before I went to bed. And this is what she read to me. You guys know their story about the choo-choo train. I think I can, I think I can, I know I can. And I just got so sick of this story. But as I got older and I've looked back in my life, I found out why she would read that story to me every single night. Because she knew that I would have mountains to climb. With all the hurdles I had to jump over with my severe to profound hearing loss, she knew that I would need all the help I can get. And so at a young age, she told me that I can do this, I can do this, I know you can do this. Even though you've got mountains to climb, and guess what? We all have mountains to climb. We all have our own individual challenges that we need to go through. She taught me that I'm amazing just the way I am. And that's what Hope teaches their kids. That's what your parents teach your kids, is that you're amazing just the way you are. You know, my mom would always tell me, Justin, you don't have to be like Justin Timberlake. You don't have to be like Justin Bieber. You're Justin Osmond, you know, just how you are. And he wants to be like them anyway, right? Nah. Anyway, but teaching them that they're just awesome, just how they are. And that's what Hope does, and I love that. And my mom always taught me to have a positive attitude about life. And my favorite quote is, the only disability in life is a bad attitude. It really is. And I was talking to the parents last night, you know, about how I was relating to all these kids. You know, sometimes we have to put in a little bit more physical and mental exertion. We have to pay more attention than the average hearing person. But that helps us to learn how to work hard, right? In other words, it helps us give us more mental toughness. And even though tough times don't always last, tough people do. And guess what? These kids of the Hope program, they are tough. They're mentally tough. And they're able to be that bridge builder so they can go out there and survive in the real world. And I love that. Isn't that awesome? I think it's something so cool. I love Dumbo was my favorite cartoon when I was growing up. And I felt like Dumbo a lot. I felt like I was dumb, what do you call it, deaf and dumb? I hate that term. I'm glad that's going away. But feeling dumb, I had a very low self-esteem, very low self-confidence. I just hit rock bottom a lot, you know. But thank goodness I had wonderful teachers. I had wonderful audiologists, wonderful speech pathologists, which I had to learn how to speak for 12 years, intense. I was diagnosed when I was 2, so I was a little 2 years behind all my peers. And so I had to catch up. And because of all the wonderful support and programs like Hope, I was able to, spread my wings. And you know what? When I used to be ashamed of not wanting people to know that I have a hearing loss and I wear hearing aids, I'm not like that anymore. I love it. I love being able to tell my story. And you know what? These kids are the same. Hope is helping them to be able to spread their wings so that they can go out there and be all they can be. And as a result of this, I was able to speak with passion and be able to hear with conviction. And my confidence came back up. My esteem came up. You know, even though I had a lack of hearing, I also had a lack of hope. And they restored that hope for me so I could go out there and be all I can be. Even though I came from a musical family, I don't have the golden throat like Donnie or my dad, but that's okay. But I can play a mean old fiddle, you know, and you can do other things. But because someone gave me a chance, someone gave me an opportunity to be able to be all I can be, I wanted to pay it forward. Just like you guys are doing tonight. You're helping make a difference for these kids. And I think that is so awesome. So what I did is I started a foundation in honor of my sweet grandmother who passed away not too long ago. And I've been able to travel all over the world helping deaf children with the gift of better hearing. I've been able to partner with other organizations like Starkey and others and be able to hear. So I put together a little video, and it's called Bringing Music to Your Ears. And that's what you're doing tonight.
Crashing waves upon a sandy beach, but things are all about to change. Just see the people gathered round. Tonight you receive the gift of sound. Welcome to a life you never knew. Tonight you receive the gift of sound. Welcome to a life you never knew. You've waited long enough to hear the world around you. Whoever said dreams don't come true. You have nothing left to fear. You'll cry only happy tears when we bring music to your ears. There could be no better surprise. We can see the joy there in your eyes. Welcome to a life you never knew. You've waited long enough to hear the world around you. Whoever said dreams don't come true. You have nothing left to fear. You'll cry only happy tears when we bring music to your ears. When we bring music to your ears. When we bring music to your ears.
Thank you. I love my grandma very much. In fact, I was her favorite grandchild. Anyway, Anyway, I just wanted to share that real quickly. This little boy right here, you know, you've seen it, you've experienced it, that's why you're here. You're helping little kids like that be all they can be. And a really neat story about this one. There was a mother of this little boy, this was in India, by the way, and she saw that, you know, they had no resources, no money, no nothing. In fact, they had no idea that he would be able to grow up, and now that he can hear, he can get a good job, get a good education, all these things. And she came to me with a tear in her eye, and she said, is there any way you could take my son back to the United States so that he could have a better life and a better education? And of course, I couldn't do that. But she said this, and I think this is something we can all learn from. She said, I hope you never measure your life by the days you have lived, but by the smiles you leave behind. And I think, you know what, that's so appropriate for tonight. That's what you're doing. You are leaving smiles behind. And I'm going to call it better hearing smiles for these kids, these kids that are benefiting from the H.O.P.E program. So anyway, thank you for being a part of that. I've always talked to the parents last night, you know, even the speech pathologist and all you guys, when you might have some really tough patients that you're working with. And I was one of those. I was a stubborn little boy that had a really hard time, and I always gave my speech pathologist a really hard time, 12 years. Anyway, she never gave up on me. She never, ever gave up on me, and because of that, I am where I am today. And a couple years ago, this is like 20 years later, I went back and I apologized to her for being stubborn, and it was so neat because she'd never heard me speak before. And it was quite a reunion. So I promise you someday they will have a rude awakening and they will come and thank you from the bottom of their hearts. I want to share something with you real quickly, and I know my time's up. But this is one of the things I've learned about how we can have that perfect brightness of hope, is that our challenges can become our greatest strengths. And I believe that with all my heart. I was told that I could never play the violin. I have a severe to profound hearing loss, and that I would never be able to hear the instruments and be able to, that my intonation is so off. And it's like the Toby Keith Western song, you know. He comes back and says, "How do you like me now? Now that I'm on my way," you know, kind of a thing. But anyway, if it's okay, we're a little bit of country and we're a little bit of rock and roll, but we're a little bit of classical music too, right? And I've always been taught that where an ordinary man finds an excuse, a courageous man finds a way. And that's what Hope teaches our kids, is to find a way, you know, and that there's no room for excuses, and that when there's a will, there's a way. And so I wanted to play the violin, you know. I couldn't sing like my dad. I can sure dance. I taught my Uncle Downey how to dance on Dancing with the Stars. But I wanted to play the violin, and even though I can't hear it very well, I learned to play it by feeling it, the vibration, the conductive vibration. As you know, we hear with our brain instead of our ears. So with that, I thought I'd share a little tune with you. But speaking of the auctioneer, wherever he is, I think he took a lot of speech therapy for him to be able to talk like that. So good job, wherever you are. But it goes like this. 'Twas battered and scarred, and the auctioneer thought it barely worth his while to waste his time on this old violin. But he held it up with a smile and said, "What am I bid for the old violin? $1? And who make it two? $2 once and three. $3 once and $3 twice," and going and going. But no, from the back of the room, a gray-haired man came forward and wiping the dust from this old violin and tightening the frayed little string. He played a melody, pure and sweet, even a killing angel sang. The music thieves. The music thieves. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. The music ceased, and the auctioneer, with a voice that was quiet and low, said, "Now, what am I bid for this old violin? $1,000. And who make it two? 2,000 once and three. 3,000 once and 3,000 twice. And going and gone," said he. The people cheered, but some of them cried. "We don't quite understand. What changed its worth?" Swift came the reply, the touch of the master's hand. And many a man with his hearing out of tune, and battered and scarred with a life void of sound, is auctioned cheap to the thoughtless crowd, much like this old violin, a glass of wine, a mess of pottage, a game, and he travels on. He's going once, and he's going twice. He's going, and he's almost gone. But the thoughtless crowd, they never quite understand what it's like not to be able to hear, and the change that is wrought by the touch of the Master's hand. Ladies and gentlemen, you have that touch. Because of people like you, I'm able to reach my potential. And because of you, the kids that you saw earlier, I met some of them last night. Eli, in fact, Eli is the one that donated his violin, by the way. Bless his heart. He's not here tonight because it's past his bedtime. And I met Cassie and so many other wonderful, beautiful little kids. They're going to be the next Miss America because of people like you that are helping them make that happen. And so with that, take your challenger to the next level and teach your kids not just to hear with our physical ears, but to learn to listen with our hearts. In other words, we can have that perfect brightness of hope. And so I have some books out there. I would love to visit with many of you afterwards. And if you would like to buy a book, it's all about my stories and experiences of how I've been able to still trying to overcome my hearing loss. And I will be donating a portion of the sale, of course, to this wonderful cause. So thank you guys so much for letting me be here. God bless every one of you guys, and thank you again for everything. So appreciate it. Thank you.